choose to love where freedom flies. From my heart where the light keeps shining. And I choose to feel the whole world crying for the strength that we can rise above. I choose love.
Hi, and welcome after another week. And I look forward to seeing where things are drawn to today as another week has passed and we see more of the activity unfolding in this country and in the world. And I just want you to know up front that I do engage first in prayer to protect you, that you would rest upon only the words that God wishes you to receive in this time. But I do want to begin on a very important subject right now. Because here we have the avian flu, the H1N1 flu, the coronavirus, all the different things that people are triggered by right now. And one of the things that I hear a lot lately is, oh, this is God's retribution, or this is Mother Earth bringing punishment to people. And I want to help you to get that out of you, because that is not what this is about. This is not a retribution. This is not a punishment. The reality is in life that all the things we see manifested upon this earth must manifest. They must come forth because we are here as instruments to bring restoration to the spiritual realm. So if there is discord, if there is death, if there is suffering, if there is sickness, Yeshua came into our midst and he overpowered death. He took from the order of principalities, the power that death held over humanity, so that we might recognize and know that we were first spiritual in nature, walking in earthly existence and returning into a spiritual nature. There is no death, there is merely birth into new life, both in the form that we are birthed into humanity and the form that we will be rebirthed back into the spiritual realm. So in this life, we have been very clear that we had a responsibility before God, that we were to enter upon this earth, shed the knowledge and wisdom that we held before God, and enter into the veil of humanity. The veil of humanity becomes one that we walk in such a way that we are evidencing things of a spiritual nature: confusion, depression, sadness, those things of a spiritual nature that rise within us. If we choose not to embrace them, we become that which is God, and God releases the captives held within. The captives being spirit of confusion, spirit of sadness, spirit of depression, spirit of anxiety, spirit of fear, that which is governing the corporate body of humanity right now. And the reality is there are many paths in life. There are some paths that you will see huge puddles of mud, mess, dirt, horrible things that will glom on you and attach to you. There is a path that is elevated into a place of comfort, dry, ease of the path, and gentle fragrances that will attach to you. So this is not about punishment again. This is about the paths that humanity takes. There is harmony or there is disharmony. And humanity has chosen a path in its walk that is evidencing things of a spiritual nature. And much of it is in that muddy rut where they're walking through and they wonder why mud is attaching to me. People don't even know that Yeshua walked a vegan existence, a existence where he did not partake of life. He did not partake of meat. So if we choose a path that is choosing the suffrage and death within another, and we take that death into our bodies, it is going to manifest the mud that creature, that person, that animal, that being attached to it through its life. We will take into it the very suffrages that its cells carry in each day. However, if we choose the path that is elevated in the dryness, that is moving along, ease and comfortable in walking, and we choose the path that has the gentle fragrances, the things that support and sustain the body, we won't be taking into us death, suffrage, pain, sickness, depression, sadness, and fear. The fascinating thing is they've shown that the coronavirus, the different things that have emerged, have come from animal flesh. These animals that have been killed, butchered, and then placed into human bodies, the death virus transmutes from the animal into the human. However, this animal had lived great suffrage, at times great fear. So what happens in the corporate body of humanity is it begins to move in this fear that it is consumed. Yeshua said to us at the Last Supper, "Do this as oft as you do," as he brought blessing unto all things he was about to receive and of those things that he was about to impart upon others. Do it in blessing, to recognize God's presence within. If a person is going to choose to partake of life and take it into their bodies, that's their choice, their journey, their walk. That's their path that will be one path that will choose the things that can glom onto them. But I would ask for you to each pray and bless it. Bless the experience that you're undertaking. Bless and search the presence of God within all these experiences. The challenge is we become so separated outside of harmony from the nature of God's presence that we end up consuming the suffrage within the animal. Instead of transferring ourselves into a place of recognize God within, choose upon the life within, and as we take into us, like in my case, if I'm taking in sweet potato, or if I'm taking in tofu, or if I'm taking in some manner of meal that is a blessing to me, I am centering first upon the presence of God. So now we come back to the practicality of how we're dealing with today, because we have so much going on and so much fear being pushed forth as the media tries to convey greater fear, because then they get people watching the show more often. Please surrender yourself from that. Not just the food you intake, but even the visual intake that you take forth as you watch videos, as you watch the news media. Please remember that you must seek the presence of God and embrace discernment over intake of knowledge through fear. Are you discerning in nature? Are you bringing this forth in such a way that you could evidence and reveal God's presence? You see upon the news all the things unfolding. Have you stopped, prayed increase of wisdom, clarity, and peace upon people? Have you prayed for the release of the spirit of fear that is obviously governing so many? Have you prayed for the release of the spirit of lack, as people fear in such ways that they are stocking up on so many things because they don't understand that God knew these things would transpire within humanity, so they don't seek God. They run immediately to Sam's or to Walmart and they buy out every piece of toilet paper they can find. And oh, by the way, toilet paper is not the vaccine. Toilet paper will not cure a person of the flu. And I know that's being foolish, but the reality is I understand that people need to make sure that they have the comforts around them just in case they can't get out and go to the store. But please search God's presence. Relinquish the attachment to your heart. Search the attachment to God. Release your attachment to the words and videos that you are presented to daily that convey fear. Release the fear from the corporate body of humanity. Open your hearts to the reality that God has known and seen the completed result of all aspects upon this earth, and God is not forcing retribution or punishment upon humanity. God is not expressing pain and suffering upon humanity. That is the spiritual process unfolding. We are here as instruments to choose. Fear is not of God. You did not give me a spirit of fear. I release to you the spirit of fear that this news media outlet is releasing into humanity. I release the corporate demonic within fear. And going further on that, I release the spirit of fear that I witness within myself. I welcome in your holy presence, as I know your strength, your forbearance, your power, your peace reside within me. Now we look to corporate humanity and we see that it's on the corporate body. It's no longer just spirit influence, it's now demonic in nature. The demonic fragments itself into humanity and then coalesces in certain understandings. Demonic must be spoken of in agreement. That is what we do within grace healing. We come together in agreement. Yeshua said two before the presence of God, before the presence of God's love and fullness of this, forgive me, two gathered in the fullness of God's love, in the fullness of agreement, and it is done upon this earth. The reality is when you draw to another and you both see, oh my God, look at the media injecting fear into society. We are seeing the corporate entity, the demonic force of fear being directed into humanity. We choose now to see God's presence manifested throughout humanity and the spirit of fear released from within humanity. So two in the fullness of agreement before the love of God's presence, and it is done upon this earth. But there is an importance of agreement, because agreement between two has greater power than that which is the demonic and the blindness of humanity. Humanity running around blind, thinking, oh my God, we're going to run out of toothpaste, we're going to run out of toilet paper, we're going to run out of this. There is a difference between fear and vigilance. It is okay to be vigilant, but I would suggest that it is more important to be prayerful in vigilance than it is to be bound within fear. And that's the offering for this week. I pray that you are blessed in all that you do, and I pray that you are freed from the fears that you witness throughout society, and that you would move with greater vigilance through prayer and bring blessing to all things that you do, whether it's the consumption of food, whether it's the consumption of videos, whether it's the consumption of relationships where you are consuming and sharing and partaking in union with one another. Would you please search the importance of bringing God's presence and the holy light of God's Spirit into each and every moment. May you be blessed. Have an amazing week. Know that you are loved dearly, and we are here for you at Grace Healing, for you to reach as you are led. We love you dearly. Take care.
Yeah.